How is it going, Bears fans? Welcome back to another episode of Beared Down Uncut, where we talk everything Bears every day of the week. We are approaching 3 weeks until the Bears kick off their 2020 season at Ford Field against the Detroit Lions, and today we're going to be breaking down the few stories that we do have for you guys from day 6 of training camp. Welcome back to the show. Uncut episode 68. It feels good to be back. I'm your host, Chris Malpe, and today I'm joined with my co-host, Jaylen McClinton. Jaylen, how you doing, buddy?
I'm doing good. Just watching some playoff basketball and enjoying my weekend.
So, the first week of training camp is done. We don't have a ton to discuss from Sunday, but one thing that you guys made very clear in the last episode is that I don't have to say, with that being said, so much. So, I'll work on it from here on out, but let's cover the stories that we do have from day 6. First of all, Eddy Pineiro. Matt Nagy said that the place kicker has a little bit of a groin injury that he's been dealing with. Cairo Santos will be joining the team as the second kicker in camp. We did cover that yesterday. Jaylen, there's not much to discuss here. I mean, Eddy Pineiro was pretty solid in his what you would call rookie season. But are you worried about him? He's dealt with some injuries in the past. So are you comfortable with Eddy Pineiro moving forward with these groin issues that he's had?
Yeah, I'm comfortable with Eddy. For a lot of people thought we were still doing an open competition. But when I heard it was due to Eddy being injured, I'm not surprised at all. Just bringing in a replaced kicker until Eddy comes back. Now, due to his injuries, I think he had a groin injury last season. That's why he couldn't do kickoffs, and we gave that to Pat O'Donnell. But his kicking was still pretty good. So as long as he can, get that under control, I'm pretty confident in Eddy. He did miss a couple kicks here and there, but other than that, he was pretty accurate.
Yeah, I'd like to see Pineiro improve from, the 40 to 49 range. Let us not forget that, as I pull up some stats here, Robbie Gould kicked 77.8% of his kicks in during his first full season with the Bears in 2005. In 2019, Eddy Pineiro actually recorded better with 82.1%. He ended up as the number 18 kicker in the league. I think with how Bears kicking has gone in the past couple of years, just taking an average kicker is good. We've heard good things about Pineiro this offseason. We've heard that he's gained some muscle, especially in his legs. I've said it in the past, I think Pineiro's got the leg for sure. Just the accuracy needs to improve, and I think that'll come with time for him. But, I'm comfortable with him. He's entering his second year. I think he's still pretty raw, and I don't think his job was ever in peril. I think the Bears kind of tried to give an illusion or throw a smoke screen by bringing in Ramiz Ahmed, but let's be honest here, his job was never really in peril, so not worried about Eddy moving forward, and I think the kicking situation will be fine. Heading on to the other stories that we got from today, a very interesting one this morning. The Bears actually had to postpone Sunday morning's practice to this afternoon. It was supposed to be at 9:20 a.m. It was moved back to 1:40 p.m. We don't have that many stories from practice. It was just a short run through. But the reason it was pushed back is because of 9 false positive COVID tests. So, Jaylen, with this whole disease and everything that's going on right now, virus, with everything that's going on right now, do these false positive tests worry you? Because if those come up during the season, that could be the difference between an important player missing a game or playing in a game.
It kind of worries me. Definitely, if they can't tell if you're positive for corona or not, and you're sitting out a game you're sitting out a game for no reason when you don't even have the virus. Yeah, that kind of worries me because that can affect the game. If a starting quarterback so-called test positive for coronavirus and he doesn't actually have it, he's missing out on. He's not going to be there for his team and potentially lose a game or not be there for a crucial situation or something like that. So that definitely worries me. I'm glad that those 9 players actually didn't have corona, but hopefully, we can get all the, we can get positive and accurate testing from now on until the end of the season.
Yeah, it definitely scared me a bit this morning because I woke up and it said that 9 Bears players had coronavirus because I woke up before the news came out that, they were false positives. So I just hope that the testing can get down and they can get it down to a pin. It's going to be important on game day if players have to take tests. that they're going to be able to pass those and be able to get out onto the field. So definitely very important. Something else that's interesting from camp, Allen Robinson and Akeem Hicks were out. Robinson was said to be okay yesterday with an ankle injury. Akeem Hicks is day by day with a quad. Jimmy Graham remained out. He had a veteran's break, and Latavius Simmons was not seen. Jason Spriggs apparently went down with a pretty bad right knee injury yesterday, and he was not back either. Jaylen, look, there's obviously going to be a lot of rust in this first week of training camp without any mini camp and such, based on the circumstances that we had. Does this high amount of injuries just within 1 week worry you at all?
The injuries kind of worry me. We want to have a healthy team. Like you said, the people are going to get bumps and bruises during the NFL season. That's something that's just gonna happen. But giving these players the rest they need, and hopefully we can have a pretty healthy roster. Have a pretty healthy roster when it's time to play the Lions week 1. But injuries happen. So hopefully these players can get the rest they need so they can be healthy.
Yeah, injuries are inevitable, and it doesn't really surprise me. With what's going on in the world right now, these players are going right into 11-on-11 drills and not having much prep time. So it doesn't worry me that much. Jaylen said it earlier. He hit it on the head. It's just important that, these players are ready to go for the game, and I think that they will be ready. So one last thing I want to touch on before we end this episode off. Khalil Mack had his first interview yesterday with the media in the 2020 season. And before I get into his quote, Jaylen, I think you saw the interview as well. He was riding a Peloton. What do you think about that, man?
He literally takes no days off to reality, literally.
Yeah, no kidding. He doesn't know how to live normal because he lives the Khalil Mack life. He's looking absolutely shredded, but I thought it was hilarious when he was taking a ride on the Peloton while answering the interview. So something interesting that Mack had to say is that I don't really see a ceiling for this group, man. 1 week in, whatever we want, that's what we're going to get. I mean, it's got to be promising seeing that Mack already has as much confidence, and obviously he's not going to crap on the team or anything like that, but it seems like this team does have a very high ceiling. Almost gives me echoes of the 2018 team that went 12-4 and won the NFC North. So, Jaylen, I want to ask you, do you think there's a ceiling for this team? I mean, obviously, a lot of reports have said that the quarterback play has been disappointing to this point. Obviously, we know it's a pretty close competition, and that is probably something that could end up being the Bears' Achilles heel as we move down the stretch. But that being said, do you see a ceiling for this group, or do you think they can exceed expectations here in 2020?
The ceiling is however the quarterback play is, whether it's like we said this before, Mitchell or Nick Foles. If they can play good, then this team has no ceiling. We have a pretty well-rounded roster. We still could upgrade at the offensive line, but the defense is probably going to be one of the best in the league again. This defense is better than it was last year, especially the Robert Quinn addition on the other side of Khalil Mack is going to be dangerous for offensive lines and team offenses in general. We have a good wide receiver core that with Allen Robinson and Anthony Miller, and then we upgraded the tight end position, and the tight ends have been killing it lately. And so, like I said, the ceiling of this team all comes down to the quarterback position and if they can play well or not.
And honestly, I think it also comes down to the kicking position. I mean, we don't have to talk about how the 2018 season ended, but we need Pineiro to be healthy. We need him to be out there. It's a good way to kind of come full circle in this episode. If the Bears' offense isn't going to be able to produce, Jaylen recently spoke about the quarterback position not being the best. We're going to need the kicker to be able to nail kicks when we do have the opportunity to get in field goal range, hoping that the defense can stop the opposing team enough to be able to win a game by a field goal and eke them out. So, look, I'm confident in the defense. I'm semi-confident in the offense. I'm worried about the offensive line and quarterback a little bit. I think hopefully coming into week 2 of training camp, Nick Foles, Trubisky will start getting their feet wet a little bit more, and we'll be able to see a little bit more good 11-on-11 play where the offensive line can hopefully prosper. But I'm hoping that there is no ceiling for this team and that they can go wherever they want. So we'll see. But that'll pretty much do it for episode number 68 of Uncut. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. If you want more content from us, head over to our website, beareddown.com. We're posting articles consistently on there now. It's a lot of good extra content. There's a lot of good people here that work behind the scenes. Definitely pumping out some good stuff on there for you. If you want to find the podcast on Instagram and Twitter to see some sneak peeks of podcasts. By the way, the podcast will return tomorrow. Very excited about that. We're going to be interviewing a reporter who has been at training camp, get some inside scoops from him. The podcast will return tomorrow, so you can find us on Instagram and Twitter at Beared Down, and you can also find me and Jaylen's fan pages down in the description. Jaylen McClinton, man, 1 week through, what do you think so far?
If this team can stay healthy, I can't wait for the season, and I'm like this. If this offense can just put points on the board, I don't think any team in the NFL can beat us. And I know that's a bold prediction, but I'm very confident in this team as long as the quarterback position plays well.
Yeah, the offense is going to be the key, as it always has been. I'm very confident in this defense, but we shall see how it all plays out in 3 weeks in Detroit. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. It's been a pleasure to be your host. Once again, my name is Chris Maltby. Bears fans, do us a favor, stay safe, and as always, bear down. We'll see you in the next one. Peace.